and welcome back. Today I want us to think about what happens to the things that we know, or to the things we usually rely on, the things that we work with, or something that you thought it has to be there, then all of a sudden it's not there. What happens during such a time? And I want us to look at the Word of God from Genesis. It's a familiar story, a story that we know, but there's a particular verse that I want us to look at, and it's a story of Hagar and his son Ishmael, the son they had with Abraham, and something happened, whatever happened, and they were sent away. And we find now the story of Hagar interesting when Hagar is in the desert. And listen to this. Genesis 21 and verse 15. And it says, when the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Then she went off and sat down about a bow's shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. And as she sat there, she began to sob. What did the man say? She thought. And that one, she thought, she's the one who's thinking. As maybe you now, yes, you can watch me, you are thinking, or me, myself, or me, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, when the water in the skin, it was gone. When the business that was doing went bankrupt. When the job where I was employed, they sacked me. My family, they chased me away, and I have no one else to go. And you think that is the end of the story, because this skin, this water, it represents something, provision, human provision. It represents something that can be given to you by somebody, and that thing eventually it will get finished, it will get over. The water, remember, this water, it was given by Abraham. They had some bread and water, and everything was over, including the bread. Now the only thing that was remaining was the water. And as the one harvest, when the water in the skin was gone, she put the boy under one of the bushes. Now we can see now she has gone now to a place of hopelessness. Now she's even, can you see her? And can also you see yourself in that story, because now you think the job is gone, because now you think your business went down, now your life is over. That is why she's saying that. And she went off and sat down about a bow shot away, for she thought, I cannot watch the boy die. That is the end. Now that your job is over, you die, your children will die, your children will not go to school, you will not eat. Says who? Now that because the business went down, the only thing you knew is over. Now you think that is the end of your story. And you're like, you've made up your plan, you thought now nothing will work, because the only thing that I knew, the only job that I knew how to do, they have sacked me. The only business I've done for 20 years, it crumpled down, and that there is no way out. My life is over. And you can see her, she started sobbing, she's crying. Instead of even asking God for help, she's crying, And the funniest thing that she knew the God, I don't know whether she knew God, but she knew the God of Abraham. And now the good news is that at least he has a son with Abraham. So if God was to do anything, because this boy, by the end of the day, the son of Abraham, he will save them. But Hagar's stories represent most of us. When whatever is that we had, whatever is that we thought was supposed to be what was supposed to provide for us, finances are over, relationships are broken, emotional emptiness, the bitterness, we find that we think that is the end of the story. You part with your partners or somebody, got somebody, and you think that is the end of your story because that is the only thing you can see. Maybe because those are the only thing you can see with your eyes, and you think that your business, you think that your career or your job is your source. Like that, it's just a channel that God used to bless you. And so what happens, when you get in a Hagar situation, because from one time or the other, you find yourself in this situation. Yeah, sometimes you don't have to ask for it. Sometimes it will bring itself even without a knock. You just find yourself, you just find out of nowhere, with no notice, you've been sacked. The only thing you receive is the letter of maybe they are doing it, there's redundancy, and you're one of those people who are being sent home, or you are on home compulsory leave without pay, and your wound crumbles down, and your skin of water runs out, and you don't know what next. And so it means if you don't have a relationship with God, you will suffer. And you will suffer, and you will do like Hagar. You will start now planning how, or you not even think, is there another way out? Is there a way God can help me? Because all that you saw, all that your work is what you thought was sustaining you. But now the good news is that when you know God, when you know there's a God who is the source, when you allow God to be the source of your provision, it doesn't matter whether they sack you, it doesn't matter whether the business goes down, it doesn't matter what runs out, because God is the source, He never runs out. He can never dry. And so when you let God be your source, that channel might close. That channel, because it's a human channel, that channel might run out. That stream might run out. But you have to know the source is still there. So what happens when that source runs out? God will redirect you. God will show you another way. Just like the story of this guy, Elijah. When the brook dried, just God was providing for Elijah on the cave with bread, sending those living with bread and meat, And so when the brook dried, he redirected Elijah to the widow at the Sarafeth. And so it means whatever is that you are doing now, it is not the source. That is just that source. It's just a channel. And when that channel dries, in case it dries, ask God to redirect you. Ask God to show you what next, because that's not the end. Yes, God knows you have children who need to go to school. You need to build a house for your family. You need rent. You need someone is sick. You need finances. And so He will show you another way. The end of water in the skin or in the jar, whatever you call it, it's not the end. That is the beginning, maybe even of God wanting you to see more, or think even revealing himself to you, so that you can be able to acknowledge Him as your source. Because the moment you believe that the water in the jar, the water in the skin was its source and it's dry, it means it is dry, it is over. Beyond that job, you cannot get finances because you believed your job was your source. But when you believe there is a higher source than your job, the job is only a channel. It means when even you are out of that job, Your God, who is your source, will make another channel to provide for you. Okay? So, with that knowledge, with that knowing that God is my source, He is my provider, He will provide for me no matter what. He is my shepherd. I will not lack. So it means even if the business goes down, He remains your provider, not the business. If that idea maybe is out of, maybe now it's not working, He will give you another idea. Or maybe if you relocate and you can't go with that business, and that business you are doing there, it can't work there, He will give you another idea because He's God. He is the source and He has to provide for you. So you have to know He'll supply all my needs according to His riches and glory. But not the job. Your job will not supply nothing to you. Your business will not supply. It is only a channel. And so as long as you hold it accountable, as long as you hold your business accountable, when it goes down, you go down with it. And now you start doing like Hagar. You start now thinking, now my business is over, I'm over too. Oh, the banks are after me because I hand loans for the business. They will take the cars, my children cannot go to a good school because my business went down. And you will start crying and you'll get miserable and you'll get broken if only you don't know your God. But if you know your God, and if you know God is the supplier, even if the business is over, you will stand and say, my children will still continue to go to school. I will still continue paying my rent. I will still continue paying my rent because God is my supplier. And so it shall be because He cannot go against His word. So it means He'll make a new way. He says He makes a way where there seems to be no way. So He'll open doors for you. He'll create opportunities for you that you never saw coming. He'll send people on your side to make sure that whatever is that is needed, it's provided for you. But you have to know that God is our provider. And sometimes when things happen like they happened for Hagar, when you hit rock bottom, God will always reveal Himself. Maybe you are so much dependent on yourself. Maybe you are so dependent on your skills. Maybe you are so dependent on your career. You think you are there because of your education, what have you. But when everything hits down, that's when you realize, it was really God who was holding me. Because when you hit down and you start trying to look, because you know one thing, when water ran out, because Hagar was using her physical power or her physical strength, she could not even see the water. Because the well that the one says there below down, God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and saying to her, Hagar, what is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Lift the boy up and take him by hand, for I will make him into a great generation. God sometimes will also save you for someone else. The story of Hagar still tells us, God had plans for Ismail because he was the son of Abraham. Sometimes God will keep you, not for you, not for yourself. Yes, you'll benefit in the mix, but it is meant for somebody else. This water that God provided, Hagar drank, but for more, Ismail had to live. And so God had to provide. God knows that we need physical needs. He knows that. That is why it is always good to ask him for anything. He knows you need it. Yes, that car, he knows you need it. That house, you need it. Those clothes, you need them. He knows you need them. And so you can see here, this is true evidence when the one says that, then God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the skin and water and gave water and gave the boy and drink. So God will always replenish us. God will always, give us the strength that we need. But we need to look beyond what we see. We need to look beyond what we think. We need to look beyond our own strength and seeing God's divine provision, because only then, that is when there is abundant, abundant provision that never ends, that never ends.